some character. And that is self-awareness. He is self-aware of what he can and what he cannot do. Always very confident in what he knows and very humble when he doesn't know something. Compassion. His relationship with people was full of compassion. He always greets everybody when they come to the conference or meet him anywhere and say, thank you for coming. And he follows up on any relationship that he establishes with people. Tenacity is his currency. And you've heard from his son how tenacious he is in handling the health issues that he's being faced. Courage is in his blood. He never tried to back off from something that he really believes in, and he gathered momentum from all of the people that work with him. Frugal. He was very, very frugal when it comes to any spending on behalf of PFA. To the extent that he would have rather used abacus instead of upgrading the software of the PFA computer. So, and that was a major, major challenge to the executive group in order to help do that. Diplomacy. Diplomacy was his approach to deal with people. But when we talk about diplomacy and talk about our friend, it's a special brand of diplomacy. It's not the diplomacy that you and I know. He always called a spade a spade. And caring is really in his blood. He cared about PFA very, very much. PFA was Bob, or is Bob. He cared about his family, always talked with pride, and always treasured stories about his kids, at least with me. He cared about his friends, and we are all his friends. This is my friend, Bob Luedeka.
You know, I very rarely have tears come down my eyes, but I have to say, when Bennett made the comments or gave the comments that Bob said about me, they rolled a little bit, and they're still here, so you'll have to bear with me. I've known Bob for over 30 years, and I can tell you that everything that Henry said is true. Bob is focused. I mean, it's one of those things, it's like a dog that chases a car, except when Bob catches it, he knows what to do with it. And he has shown that type of tenacity and dedication to represent the foam industry over the years. So I would say that he is very focused in dealing with and protecting the polyurethane foam industry. Also thought of Bob as a visionary. You know, this is a tough industry to try to kind of look down the road and see what's going to happen and figure out how to deal with it. But that's one of the things that I found extremely important in Bob is he was able to look down the road. He saw some of the issues we were going to have in flammability. He saw some of the issues we're going to have with FR chemicals. And rather than just letting nature take its course, Bob was proactive and took steps to try to position the industry so that it could take advantage of those opportunities that would be presented in cases where changes were going to have to take place in the industry. You know, that's a rare talent for people, to be able to anticipate things and to take actions to help benefit from those things. And Bob was very good at that. You know, Bennett said that Bob couldn't remember any issue that, any recommendation that I made that he disagreed with. Well, I'm not sure that's entirely true. We did have some debates from time to time, but the one issue that he has never let me, has never forgiven me for, is I pushed hard with the executive committee to force Bob to improve his data processing system. I mean, he was working with DOS. I mean, most of you probably never heard of DOS. But it was a system back in the 80s and maybe the early 90s. And I kept pushing and pushing. And so the executive committee finally forced him to change, put the money in the budget, bought some new computers. And I get this call and he said, I just want you to know, we've got these new computers and they don't work. And I said, Bob, I can't believe they don't work. And Wayne can attest to a lot of this because he was there and was involved. But we did finally get him into the 20th century, maybe the 21st. I'm not sure where we are yet. But that was the one area that I did have a big disagreement with Bob. And it's also an area he's never let me forget. So with all that, I truly say Bob is a true friend. He in addition to being a client, he's a true friend, and he is compassionate, and he does. He has a lot of loyalty to his friends, and all of you are among his friends. So he's very loyal to you. And all I can say is that I think we all wish Bob the best, and hopefully he will have a very speedy recovery from the cancers that he has developed. So thank you.
I can throw in a couple of very short anecdotes. One thing that hasn't been brought up is his project on the 1.8 density ARCO program to improve overall density and quality in the industry. And I don't know if you can imagine what an uphill climb that was for Bob, but he was rejected, he was ridiculed. There was some owner in headquartered in Ohio that told him he was crazy. But he pursued, he kept persevering. And when I got to Arco Chemical, I sort of was working with them on the 1.8 density project. And we were spending a lot of money. Arco was expending quite a bit. Well, heaven knows, I mean, it was just a lot of money going to trade shows, bedding shows, furniture shows, where he'd have a booth. And one particular show, he came back and I called him and said, what kind of reception did he get? He said, oh, it was really good. I said, well, how many people stopped? He said, 2. So, you know, it was like he was fighting uphill the whole time, but that was it. He was a fighter, and he wouldn't give up. So, you know, I just wanted to throw that little anecdote in there. I've also been involved with the PFA for his entire tenure as executive director. And his legacy is assured for all the reasons that these 2 gentlemen mentioned. So anyway, I'm with you. Best of luck with Bob, and I hope he does have a speedy recovery, and we'll see him again. Who's next here, Russ or Lynn? Okay.
Well, I have to address this group more as a newbie. I've only been around for about 25 or so years. So, meeting with Bob and working with Bob over the years has been really enjoyable. I would voice some issues periodically that Bob would say, okay, but, and eventually, we would come to some conclusions and the like and work on stuff. Jim and Hamby talked about Bob's tenacity and work getting into a project and really working on it. I mean, really kind of appreciate that because Bob asked me to work with him. Some of you remember the controversy of a few years ago out in Santa Barbara where we had a guest speaker who was quite controversial to a number of our members, which turned out to be, due to Bob's fighting for this and stuff, turned out to be a very extremely good advocate for this industry. And many of you may not realize it, but over the years, Bob and I particularly have met on a relatively regular basis with our Lean Luminaire group. They invited us to join in on a recycling program, which became a major published program, international program with various international authors on the issue of recycling of polyurethane foam and how we can handle the foam in a very economical as well as environmental issue. Also, when the flammability issues came up and Bob, we joined in with on the STM and the EO5 committee on flammability. Bob took it upon himself to rewrite or write a whole new standard within ASTM, not really knowing how ASTM works, not knowing how to get it through, or what even the ASTM protocols necessarily are. Took it upon himself to rewrite TB 117 2013 as an ASTM standard, which is at this point is still pending. And later this afternoon, I will present a paper which gives some of the results of what has happened with that. But Bob, when he got into something like this, really latched onto it and was really a good, came out with some really good things for the